Today I'm going to talk about unplugging the Wi-Fi and plugging into nature. We as parents, peers, and classmates should encourage each other to unplug the Wi-Fi and plug into nature. It is important to take care of ourselves, our families, and our friends. In a world full of technology, we need to take it back a few decades, put down the laptops, the iPads, the iPods, smartphones, and go outside. When I was a kid, I wasn't surrounded by electronics like today's children. Life was easier. My mom used to have to drag me inside at night because it would be too late and I would stay out there forever if I could. Playing outside is just what you did, and that's just not the case anymore. And honestly, technology is to blame. While advances in technology can save your life, like new medical advances, it can also hinder you. With the rise of the tech era, we've also seen a rise in suicide rates, a rise in obesity, and a fall in birth rate. So basically, the key to live long and prosper is to put down your phone and go outside. As a mom, I'm always researching what is best for my son and what the best parenting techniques are. I'm also majoring in marriage and family relations at BYU, Idaho. I've taken a lot of courses about child development. I also consider myself an outdoor enthusiast. I'm not very up to date on the latest technology, and I'm still rocking an old iPhone 7, but I'm up to date on nature. I'm not against technology at all. During our cross-country move, we're still currently in that move, but I let my toddler, who watches the Wiggles, there's just not much you can do to entertain a kid in a vehicle. But we also aren't driving super long hours every day, so we're able to stop and we get out the rest stops, we run and we play, and I can tell the difference in this road trip because when I moved to Florida, we didn't get out and stop and play. We drove 12-hour days. It was long. He was crying. We'd all cry. It was miserable. And this time we're breaking it up into shorter moves where we can allow ourselves to get out, to run and to play, and to still be active. And he hasn't cried in the car once. It's been an amazing difference. And so I really think being active has made the biggest difference. So the main points I want to get to for my speech today is that spending time outside is better for your health. It encourages creativity, and the increased screen time leads to desensitization and attention issues. We will explore these points next. First, spending time outside is better for your health. Being outside allows you to relax. Chloe Smith wrote an article for Thrive Global titled Spending More Time in Nature and Why It Is Important. She shared a study that was done by Korean scientists. The scientists composed a study to compare what happened to our brains when exposed to different types of images. The two categories of images that were studied were urban scenes and natural ones, like forests, mountains, and oceans. Chloe explained the study like this quote: "The scientists found that when people were exposed to urban images, the brain reacted more by expressing anxiety and fear. When people were exposed to natural scenes, the brain showed more empathy and compassion." End quote. So if just seeing images of nature increases empathy and compassion, imagine the effects of actually spending time in nature would have. Spending time outside improves your mood and results in people feeling less depressed, less anxiety, and less stress. When I first moved to Wyoming, it was just me and my husband. We lived in a basement apartment, and I didn't have a job. I was just doing full-time school online through BYU, Idaho. And I was lonely the majority of the day. It was dark and dreary because it's winter and it's in Wyoming and it's cold. You don't generally want to go outside and spend time outside. So I got seasonal depression, and it was super hard for me, and it's hard on my marriage. And I ended up getting a job and being able to go outside more often, and it pushed me to get outside and just to leave the house, and it really made a difference in my emotions and how I was feeling. The second time that I was living in Wyoming, my husband was in basic training, and my son and I lived in Wyoming together, and you can't keep this kid inside no matter how hard you try, and so we have to bundle up and go outside just because he'd make me. And I can tell the difference. I didn't have that seasonal depression, even though I was parenting alone and living on my own with my son. We got outside every day and we enjoyed it, even though it was still cold, the same bitter place. It was still enjoyable, and I didn't go through that same depression. I know that through my heart, I just know that being outside made the difference. While I've been living in Florida, it's so easy to go outside and to feel the sunshine on your body, and you don't have that cold, so it's so much easier to go outside and want to be able to do that. And I've had a really good experience emotionally living in Florida where the sun is shining and we're able to go out on walks and just really enjoy the outdoors all year round. Spending time outside really increases your vitamin D levels and boosts your immune system. People are always like, you don't go outside or don't spend too much time outside because you're going to get sick, or the cold's what makes you sick. And that's just, it's not true. You get colds from being inside where the air is circulating, and the germs, they stay indoors. There's the circulation of air just isn't there. So that's where you're going to get your colds, is if you're staying inside too much. So spending time outside encourages creativity. You can build sandcastles or forts. You can play in the mud or make mud pies. You can use rocks as blocks and see how high you can stack them. You can paint the rocks, make a rock garden. I know little girls like making those, I think they're called fairy gardens. And you can get like the little succulents and little things, and it's cute. There's a variety of things. It's not just catered to men. Like, there's cute things women can do outdoors, or decorate your yard and just spend time doing yard work. Like, there's just a variety of ways and things you can do to get outside. Possibilities are endless. And third, screen time leads to desensitization of people and attention issues. The Department of Psychology at Iowa State University did a study about video games. 3 doctors were intrigued and wanted to know if video games were good, bad, or somewhere in between. The doctors found that the video games have some positive effects, but the majority of effects were negative. Some of the positive effects are visual, spatial skills, pro-social games that increase empathy and helping, and educational games that can help teach a specific knowledge or skill. The negative effects are that violent games increase aggressive thoughts and behavior. Violent games also have a tendency to desensitize players, leading them to be less empathetic and less helpful." End quote. The study also discusses how video games can make it harder to succeed in schools, to succeed while in school. The doctor said, quote, "Video game play is negatively related to school performance, and video games may exacerbate attention problems." End quote. So if video game play is negatively related to school performance and it makes attention problems worse, it would be wise to limit video games, and especially the type of games your kids are allowed to play, and screen time, while encouraging a greater sense of learning. In conclusion, I would like to review the main points. First, spending time outside is better for your health. Second, spending time outside encourages creativity. And third, screen time leads to desensitization and attention issues. After hearing all the benefits of spending more time outside and why screen time can be harmful to your health, I urge you to unplug the Wi-Fi and plug into the outdoors.